All right. Can y'all hear? Can y'all hear? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. It looks like no. Yes, no, yes, no. Y'all gotta let me know. Yes, no, yes, no. Can y'all hear? All right, y'all was slow. I need to know right away. I'm like, come on, man. Okay, all right. Woo. That was rough. I don't really have an explanation for that. But then again, I do. Can y'all hear clearly? Am I here? Y'all got to communicate fast because listen. Do y'all hear clearly? Clearly. Okay. All right. All right. So we was talking about being about that paper. Now there are a lot of ways to be about that paper, for real, for real. There are ways to be about that paper in any station in your life. You could be about that paper. You could be about that paper. And for people who are just joining in, we had to kill the original stream on this because we weren't getting any audio or whatever. And my audio meter is not working. So I can't see myself. I can't see myself broadcasting through the audio. The audio meter is just blank. So that's why I had to ask y'all if I can see. You said read the comments. Yes, but I asked y'all way before the comments came. You understand, Carol? I asked y'all way before they came. All right, so all right, we back in motion. I think it looks like we might be back in motion. I gotta redo some things. I gotta redo them. You know what I mean? I gotta redo them. All right. All right. So, like, regardless of whether you're rich or whether you're poor, whether you're broke, whether you're paid, whether you work, whether you hustle, whatever you doing in your financial world, you can still be about that paper. And the craziest thing about being about that paper is you might know somebody that collects a lot of money, generates a lot of money. They really do. Okay. Okay. Yeah, they really do know how to make a couple of dollars. And it may look like they bought that paper. At the same time, you can be about that paper and still not make sure that you take care of your responsibilities. It's one of the craziest things that I've ever seen. You could be about that paper, but not be about your responsibilities. So, in other words, you make sure that whoever owes you pays up. You ensure that, like, no, yo, if you owe me money, or if you're supposed to pay me, if I work for you, whatever the case may be, I'm going to make sure I get my money from you. At the same time, you may not make sure that whoever you owe gets their money. It's one of the weirdest, craziest things that I've ever seen. You bought your paper on your end. You about making sure that people pay up. You about making sure that you get yours. You about making sure that your financial business is straight as far as the revenue that's supposed to be coming to you. But you don't make sure that you pay your credit cards, your utility companies. Like, how you bought that paper, but you get your lights cut off? How you bought that paper, but you come home and try to wash your hands in the sink and no water comes out because they done turned off your water? And it's crazy because you can actually be about your paper, but still not make sure that you about your business or about your responsibilities. I don't know. And some of the poorest people that I know are still about their paper. It's mad weird. Wait a minute. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. No. Okay. I'm still discombobulated. We're gonna work it out. Yeah, we'll work it out, but I'm still trying to make sure that this business is taken care of, that this business is straight, because it feels like I'm off. But we gonna catch up. We gonna catch up. But yeah, so when we think about somebody being about their paper, we think about somebody that's always hustling, always getting money, always making sure that they have a lot of money stacked and all of that kind of stuff. And it's not necessarily all that way. I've known people who were on welfare and they were still about their paper. Like let them food stamps not come through, or let that check be late or whatever. And they right there at the DPA office. You know, DPA, that's that old school. That's what the old heads used to call the welfare office. And for the longest time, I used to be like, why did my mom call it DPA? Because it's called the Department of Public Assistance. I guess that's what it used to be called. Now it's DPW, it's Department of Public Welfare. But for the longest time, I used to hear my mom talk about something, talk about such and such is on DPA. She never said, I've never heard her say that somebody was on welfare. She always said they on DPA, they on DPA. But I've known plenty of people that was on DPA and they were still about their money. Like they made sure that their welfare checks was coming through, and they also made sure that whoever they also made sure that whoever owed them any money made sure they made sure that they paid up. They made sure that they got theirs. They got whatever was coming to them from anybody else. So they was about their paper. And there are a lot of different ways to be about your paper. And we're going to talk about a few of them now. I had to kind of get my bearings together. Y'all know I don't like technical difficulties. And the thing about it is, on YouTube, when you have technical difficulties, you can't fix them in show. You just got to ride that out or start all over. There's no way to fix the stream in midstream. So I guess that's why a lot of people broadcast from another platform or on another device or whatever, and then they stream that to YouTube, sometimes live and sometimes not. You got to make sure that this thing is right. Oh, Carol says, when we didn't have sound, I was paying my bills. I got one more to pay. Listen, I think it's smart to get your bills paid in the beginning of the month. Like as a general rule, I like to pay all of my bills on one pay. And if it takes me 2 pays in order to pay my bills, I know that I'm not handling my business. I'm not. That means I have too many bills to pay. And that's just the way I feel about it. I'm not the type of person that would say that I'm about my paper, because I don't go and get every dime that's owed to me. But I know people who do. But I do make sure that my bills get paid. So I sort of gauge my financial position and whether I can pay all of my bills with one pay. Now, everybody has bills to pay, and they have to find ways to be able to pay them. So for somebody who has different bills than I might have, they may say, well, no, it's going to be impossible for you to pay it all in one pay. Let's say if you have a big expensive house with a mortgage that you have to pay. So let's say if you pay $2,000, 3,000, you know, if you have a you paying a mortgage on a $300,000 house, you know, your mortgage payment is going to be kind of high. So let's say you're paying, I don't know, anywhere from 1,500 a month to, let's say, 3,000 a month. Some people are actually paying that much money on a mortgage. You know, if you got it like that, you got it like that. Let's say if you're bringing in upwards of $250,000 a year, then that might not be a hurt piece for you. For somebody who's making the lower a lower end of six figures, you can still do it, but it's not going to be as easy. You know what I mean? So a $3,000 mortgage, and you still have other bills to pay, even in that house. So that was just the mortgage. We haven't talked about the lights. We haven't talked about the heat. We haven't talked about the water. We haven't talked about any credit card bills. We haven't talked about routine maintenance. We haven't talked about home repairs. We haven't talked about any of that kind of stuff. And that's just within the home. You may still have a car note. You may still have all types of, you may have tuition bills. You may be taking care of others. You have children. You have expenses that may not be able to be taken care of with just one check. So you might have to do some financial wrangling in order to make sure that not only are you about your paper, but that you keep your business straight. And that's if you care about keeping your business straight. If you have a mortgage or if you pay rent and you ain't about keeping your business straight, let me see. Nah. Uh, that's okay. Okay. That's weird. That's very weird. Um. hmm. All right, we gonna go with that. I didn't think. I'm still. I'm a little perplexed. I'm a little perplexed. But we're gonna roll with this. Because first, all right, I'm going to have to try not to overthink anything. This is me not overthinking anything, not overthinking anything, not overthinking anything. Because I didn't take a photo for the YouTube thumbnail, so that shows on my page. Oh, no, it don't. Oh. All right. We we're gonna roll with it. I'm more confused than ever, but if this is what we got, this is what we got. So be about that paper. There's a lot of different ways to be about that paper, but you can still not be about your responsibilities. So, like I said, on the highest level where you're making a lot of money, you know, high six figures, seven figures or more, even eight. Some people are making nine figures. You can you would think that somebody who makes seven figures or even six figures or more is about their paper, and they're not always that way. Some people just have a job a career or whatever that pays them a lot of money. But let me ask y'all this. Do you think that you could be about your paper and still not be about keeping your business straight? Let me ask y'all that, because that's not a slam dunk. You know, I said that you can be about your paper and not have your business straight, not be about keeping your business straight, but y'all might not agree with that. Let me know. Do you agree, or do you think that you can be about that paper? Well, do you think that you have to be about that? You have to be about keeping your business straight, or you have to be about your responsibilities if you about that paper? Do the two have to go together for you? That's the question I want to ask. Do y'all think that it has to be that way? Because it's a weird thing. Like, I have examples of people who are definitely not about their business or about their responsibilities, but they make sure that they get every dime that's owed to them. And that's whether they're paid, broke, rich, poor. You look at somebody like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is definitely about that paper, ain't he? He makes sure that he gets any money that he can get from anybody. He will take all that you have. But he's not necessarily that good at paying bills, making sure that other people get paid, making sure that the people that he owes gets theirs. He seems to be more about making sure that he files for bankruptcy or uses the business tools that are at his disposal to make sure that he keeps his own money. But I don't think that he's necessarily about his responsibilities. Does he even teach that? So let me see what y'all think about that. Can you be about that paper, but still not be about your business, or not be about keeping your business straight? Is it possible? What y'all got for me? What y'all got for me? Being a minimalist is trending. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill. T. Carey Wright, morning, noon, and night. Carol Chamberlain, mi friend, mi favorita. I thought I saw Stacy in here somewhere. It might have been the show before. Yeah, some people dropped off. I'm glad y'all made it back. Y'all made it back. Some people don't even know what I'm talking about, and it's all good. It's all love, baby. It's all love. Okay. All right. TK Wright says, I have a cousin who works overtime and makes great money in general, but is still broke all the time, and I lend her money regularly. Wow. I know situations like that, so that makes sense to me. So would you consider herself to be about that paper? That's the question I had. Is she about that paper because she brings money in or makes good money? For me, that's not a qualification. But for somebody else, that might be the thing. Like, nah, they about that money. They make sure they make good money. They got good money. They got money. They don't have no reason to be broke. They ain't no broke nigga. However, you know what I'm saying? Just like your cousin has to borrow from you, she may have to borrow from somebody else also. It might not even just be you. So you make good money, but you still have to try to get out from under because you're in over your head. That's what I was talking about when I say, when I can't pay all of my bills in one check, I know that now I've gone too far. So I'm kind of frugal in my approach, but I don't consider myself to really be about that paper. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily a go-getter when it comes to money. I have good ideas, but I don't always put them into practice. And I don't make that my gospel. I don't, spend every waking moment of my life trying to get money. Now, whatever I have coming to me, I try to make sure that I get it. But do I always get it all? No. And do I stop before I get it all? Sometimes I do. me see. Carol Chamberlain says, when we didn't have, okay, my bad. Okay, I agree. I know what I'm working with for the rest of the month. So you agree that you should, either pay all your bills in the beginning of the month, or be able to pay all of your bills with one check. Now, if you only get one check a month, if you only get paid once a month, yeah, I hope that you're able to pay all your bills with that. Like, I paid all my bills for this month, but next month, yeah, we got something we got to talk about. That wouldn't be good. Nars says the fewer bills, the better. Some people don't seem to understand that, Nars. Some people do not seem to understand that. They don't have no problem taking on another bill and another bill and another bill. Nars says, you said something a few years ago that stuck, which was balling on a budget. Man, listen, balling on a budget. Yeah, we going out tonight. But if you try to get bottle service, I'm walking out. Oh, yeah, we eating. I'm not going to cut the menu off there. But, Nars, you got to admit that the drinks, when you go out, that's what makes you a baller or not. Because the drinks make all the difference in the bill. I can steak and lobster you to death. You only going to eat for so much. But you get with somebody who drinks, and they drinking on your tab, and they have no regard for your paper. Yeah, that's the fastest way to turn a $200 restaurant tab into $400, $500. Because the drinks be flowing. And if you eating, then that's sucking up all of the alcohol. You know what I mean? You might want to get them drunk and then go to the menu. Get them nice. Get them tipsy. Get them drunk, and then start ordering the food. Because if you get them full first, it's going to take them longer, and it's going to be harder to get them tipsy. So get them drunk first. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta give them that top shelf. Tell them, listen, baby, we about to go out. You know what I'm saying? You know, say you mess around with a girl who drinks a lot. Like, yeah, look, get yourself, do what a lot of shady social clubs do. You know what shady social clubs do? They get top shelf liquor bottles and they put bottom shelf liquor in them. So you think you drinking Grey Goose, but you drinking that Nikolai. You drinking that Vladimir. You drinking that Smirnoff. Yeah. But you seen them pour it out of the Belvedere bottle, out of the Grey Goose bottle, out of the Ciroc bottle. The drunker people get, the less they be worrying about how good they drinking, unless you're the one paying. So yeah, you might have to employ that tactic with your girl. Your girl's a drunk, ain't nothing you can do about it. You won't judge her in that way, but you need to save a couple of dollars. So you take that Nikolai, that Vladimir, that Smirnoff, you know what I mean? Or even that mid-shelf, that Absolute. See, you can afford that Absolute. But once you start going into high-end vodka, because they got a vodka for every occasion. You know, I never seen one form of liquor that has so many different variations and so many different brands. Kamchatka, wait, what's that? Kamchatka vodka? Yeah. Carol says, I'm always balling on a budget. Yes, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, but at a restaurant, if you got a party of 4 and it's 4 adults and all of those adults drink and it's on your tab, listen, you better be careful. Don't tell them, oh yeah, y'all can order whatever y'all want. Oh yeah, we want. So he want a Long Island iced tea, and okay, uh, you want a Black Russian. All right, she want a sex on the beach. She ain't really trying to hurt nothing. All right, and what you want? You just want a screwdriver.
90 seconds.
And then y'all all want to do shots. Oh, y'all want to do shots. Yeah, shots is what run up the bill quick. You gonna run up the bill real fast when you start doing shots. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so when you out with young people, I can't even say it. I can't say that because now middle-aged people, they be doing shots too. All of that challenge drinking. Oh man, just do a shot with me. Do a shot with me. So, like, yeah, we do shots of Cuervo. Cuervo? Yeah, Cuervo. Shoot. Nah, we gonna do Patron. Mm-mm. 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 I'm about my paper. We ain't doing patron. We ain't doing no patron tonight. You know, because Patron is high. It's very expensive tequila. Like, you better get that Jose Cuervo. You better get that 1800. Get that 1800. Keep it low. Keep it low. Once you start getting into that Patron, you start digging in. Same thing with gin. Seagram's gin. It'll get you where you need to be. But nah, y'all want to do that, then, yeah, I mean, that Tanqueray. That Tanqueray. Came through with a gang of Tanqueray and a fat ass J with that bubonic chronic that made me choke. Shit, this ain't no joke. I had to back up off of it and put my drink down. Tanqueray and chronic get fucked up now. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Gin and Juice was a hell of a that was a hell of a song, but it was real. Tanqueray is expensive gin. And I don't know if people even drink gin anymore, but when we was younger, we drank gin. The Seagram's is a lot cheaper than Tanqueray. I don't know that many. I don't know too many expensive gins, but I know Tanqueray costs more than Seagram's. But let's see. TK Wright says, I think that you should be about your responsibility, but once money is in hand, so many people go left instead of don't do what they're supposed to do with the money. And that's absolutely true. And that's all good. It's easy to live. It's easy to live and let live as long as people aren't playing around with your money. As long as they're not dealing with your cream, your scratch, your Skrilla. But when they playing around with your money, you know what I'm saying? That's when you find out who's about that paper and who ain't. That's when you find out who's paying attention to the money and who's not. When you start seeing your bill go up, like, I done gave my credit card. I gave my credit card. I done submitted my credit card. When you go to certain bars and you just give them your credit card so they can run up the tab. Sometimes that's not the way to go. Sometimes you might have to do the Scrooge thing and itemize or audit drink by drink. Okay, you finish that drink, we'll pay for another drink. See, nobody wants to look like a Scrooge or stingy or broke or less than a baller at the bar. At the bar, we all got that endless money type of mentality. And I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never bought out no bar. Shoot. If I even thought about buying out the bar, I'm buying out the bar at wholesale prices. Whatever the bar paid for it, that's what I'm paying. I ain't paying retail. Have any of you ever gotten bottle service before? Bottle service? At a club, what's that cheap ass champagne? What's that cheap ass champagne? What's that shit we used to drink? It's cheap champagne. Now, I ain't talking about cold duck, not champagne. It was real champagne. It started with a T. It started with a T before we moved up to Corbel. Corbel. All right, Corbel champagne. It's economical champagne. You know, you can get, now we talking about back in the 90s. So a bottle of Corbel champagne, for us, that was baller champagne. You know, bottle of Corbel costs about, I don't know, $15. Something like that. Let's say. I think we got it for 12. But that other champagne was cheap. $3, $4, you know what I mean? So let's say a bottle of Corbel champagne. You ain't hurting nothing. But it looks like, okay, he got a bottle of champagne, bottle of Corbel champagne. We drink it right out the bottle, whatever. You get that same bottle of Corbel in a club. Now you paying $75 easily. They might hit you for 100 easily. Bottle servicing, and I be saying, I've seen broke people getting bottle service in the club. Like, what for? What are you doing? You over in VIP. You can't even afford to be in VIP. Yeah, well, your name is on the list. VIP doesn't mean that you drink for free. And it also doesn't mean that you have a lot of money. Carol Shaman says Blue Sapphire is more expensive. Okay. Is that gin? Narciso says, I don't recall any gin stories that ended well. Carol says, not me. No bottle service for me. I don't drink. So, yeah. Yeah. So when you don't drink, you save a lot of money at restaurants. An awful lot of money. You will do very well in restaurants if you don't drink. But if you drink, that's going to be your ass at the restaurant. You're going to start, your boat is going to start sinking fast. Real fast, you know what I'm saying? It's going to start sinking with the quick. It's going to start sinking with the quickness. So, but being about that paper, you know, Carol says trying to impress someone. Yeah. Dudes have gone out with girls. Listen, shout out to dudes who got girls because they had a nice car. You know what I'm saying? Now you could be about your paper and have a nice vehicle or whatever, but I've seen people with high-end vehicles, expensive cars, and they can barely even afford to put the gas in. Listen, I'm gonna just tell y'all straight up and down. If you drive a BMW, a Benz, a Audi, some Nissans, some Lexuses, and you still put 87 gas in there because you can't afford to put in the premium, you don't need to have that car. There are plenty of cars out here. There are plenty of vehicles that you can own that do not cost a lot of money on gas. Small gas tanks, you know, smaller gas tanks. So listen, if you got a full-size truck, let's say a Ford F-150, a Dodge Ram 1500, that tank is like 30 gallons. The tank is like 30 gallons, baby. Now you do the math. Now, for most trucks, they take 87 gas. But if you in an SUV, that has a big tank and it uses premium, and you putting 87 in there, you taking a chance on the long-term damage of your fuel intake. Like those engines are made for premium fuel for a reason. So some cars say that premium is recommended. So it'll run on this 87. But you know, if you want to take a chance on those maintenance problems later on, that's on you. You know, trying to get fuel injectors fixed, catalytic converters needing to be replaced, that sort of thing. You keep putting that 87 in there. Yeah. So, yeah. If you have to put 87 in a tank that requires 92 or 93, well, premium starts with 91. But not all gas stations have 91. So they might go for the straight 92, 93. And, you know, premium gas still hasn't gone down as much as regular gas is going. So, but that lets you know exactly where you are. Carol says, facts, Omar, regular all day for me. And I've cried when that was at Fort. Look. Look, I got a Volkswagen Touareg. And I believe that the tank is something like 22 gallons. I think it has like a 20, somewhere between 22 and 25 gallons. I ain't filled that bitch up in a minute. Fill it. Like, you mean like all the way to F? Like all the way to F. It's full-time 4-wheel drive. So it just eat and eat and eat. It be sucking up the gas. So you got to have another ride, because that can't be your everyday vehicle. It's just going to eat up too much of the paper. But I drive my other cars. I'm not every day. I'm good. I'm straight. You know what I mean? That could be like the Sunday car. So, but yeah. So when you bought that paper, you might, I believe that every family person should be about their paper. Like if you're the head of the family, mom or dad, you need to be about that paper, because you have to not only teach financial responsibility to your children, which you should, but you also have to make sure that you keep your business straight, keep your bills paid, so the other people in the house don't suffer because of this. What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to finish this show tomorrow. We can't go any farther. It's already 8:11. I'm sorry that we had to miss so much of it, but we got to do these birthday shout outs, and we got to get on the out of here, because if I don't, I'm not going to be about that paper. And I'm just not having that. It's not going to happen. All right, y'all, let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious. January 9th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special, because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are